Why do you do this? I hate you. I was on a roll. We're starting this early. So, hello and welcome back. We have switched sites again because I wanted to go outside, but it's snowing. So, here's a white dress that's like the snow. I'm also wearing a white dress despite it's being pretty cold, hence my sweater. Because in my book this week, Meg Cabot's Underworld, dresses are like a weirdly big thing for the character, specifically some white ones. So, Underworld. I did it again, guys. I read the second book before the first book, so I had no context. Right. I can't even say that I had context like 10 years ago when I first got the book because I didn't read the first book then either. So why am I rereading it? Because I had no memory of the story. And that's probably because it's very juvenile. Not that that's a bad thing. I do enjoy occasionally reading YA books just to mix things up because I do typically tend to read non-YA books, as y'all probably have gathered by now. And I think sometimes it's fun to just kind of do a throwback and see what did kids read back when I was in middle school, which is what this book is. That said, it was kind of annoying. Like, if I were still 15, maybe, probably younger, I think I would have really enjoyed this. As a 22-year-old with slightly more experience than 15-year-old me, it was kind of annoying. So this story takes place in Florida, and it follows Pierce, Oliveira, and John Hayden. Pierce is your typical naive, slightly boy crazy, but boy inexperienced 17-year-old girl who apparently doesn't care about school, which just kind of hurt my little academic reader heart. And John Hayden is a death deity who died in the 1800s in a mysterious hurricane, and now he rules the underworld that apparently is under Florida? Question mark? So that's where I kind of had a little bit of like conflicted feelings, because it's pretty obviously the story of Persephone, but modernized. And actually the back literally says the myth of Persephone, darkly reimagined. But like, my issue with it is that Pierce's naivety is just a little too much. Like, at the very beginning, you're in a dream sequence, and like she thinks it's a dream, and then she wakes up in John's arms, and she apparently loves John. Like, her whole dream is about how she's trying to save him from drowning, and she's like, no, don't let go. And it's like Titanic all over again. There was room for two. But anyway, when she wakes up in his arms because she was crying and he wanted to comfort her, she like panics and is like, what the hell are you doing? Get away from me. What? And then later on, there is this whole debate about if eating any food in the underworld traps you or if it's just eating pomegranates. And she's like, I kind of remember reading about that in school. Not really. I'm not saying all schools have to have like a mandatory mythology lesson, but I feel like that's a pretty basic one. And for her to be so confused and unaware of it was kind of surprising. And then later on in the book, there's another part, and I swear this will be the last time that I complain about her being dumb. Throughout the whole thing, John's all dramatic, like, oh no, I don't want to tell you how I died because then you'll hate me. And she's like, but I love you, even though I can't wake up in your arms. And she's like, what the heck happened to him? Like, why is he a death deity? Well, their good friend, Mr. Smith, who runs the cemetery in town, he slips her a book. And in the book, she reads about the ship that John used to be on. And she reads that it's captained by Robert Hayden of Hayden and Sons. And she's like, what could this mean? literally, I was halfway reading through the sentence and I was like, oh, it's his dad. And she's like, could he be related to John? And I was like, yes, obviously. Stop asking dumb questions. Spoiler alert, there are dumb questions. Not a lot, but that was one. So, before you get the idea that I don't like the book, oh, the dress thing. She's just like weirdly against dresses, but only very certain dresses. And I just like, I don't know, I'm all for girl power. Wear pants if you like, but like, dresses are sometimes comfy. And I don't understand why people have to like excessively hate on them. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, so before you get the idea that I didn't like the book, I did. Like I said, sometimes it's kind of fun to read a YA book just to switch things up and to kind of feel like a kid again. And this definitely put me there. But like I said, I think if I were still a tween, I would enjoy it a lot more than I did now. It was entertaining. I do like the idea of the story. I liked the other characters. I really liked John. I really liked Mr. Smith. I thought little Henry, who's like the ship's boy who like died when he was like 9 and calls cell phones magic mirrors and is fascinated by cotton candy. Like, I thought they were all great characters. Pierce just irritated me because she was kind of dumb. She kind of reminded me of Bella in Twilight. So, that gives you any idea. Alright, that's all I have. Check it out if you have a young tween daughter or friend, or maybe you just like have a birthday party that you were supposed to go to and then COVID ruined that, but you still need to send a gift. Maybe don't send Underworld since it's book number 2, but maybe check out this series. It's kind of interesting. As for my next book, it is I Am the Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know how to define it yet. I'm only about 20 pages in. It says that he's a poet and a philosopher and has been compared to William Blake even, so that's kind of cool. So far I already have one part that I really like, and I'm really curious to kind of see Gibran's perspectives on other things in the book. So, thank you so much again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks!